Jerome Span. Of course, I'm here to tell you about our sponsor today. And our sponsor is, of course, and will forever be longstanding. Hey, mind you, he don't give me no money, but this is my man's. I got to hold him down. It is Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, Swopes is out here trying to change lives. He's trying to help get these young athletes into college each and every week. Every day he dedicates a lot of time to this. This man has a serious passion for helping others further their education and further their lives in with a lot of great ways. They are on Facebook. Make sure you look up Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Swopes is spelled Swopes. It is ran by Mr. Nathaniel Swopes Jr. He is the man in Houston, if y'all don't know. But yes, make sure you go check him out if you're trying to get your kid into school, or hell, if you're even a kid here that's thinking about going into school and you want to try and keep playing, keep your athletic career going, make sure you go check out Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. He is the man that is going to help you keep that dream going. So make sure you follow them on Facebook, and you can get right a hold of Mr. Swopes there. He will help you get into college and keep your dream going for continuing to play your sports. So again, people, Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Check it out now. Help change some kid around you that you know's future, or hell, even your future.
Yeah, Enigma in the house. My man J Span, Titan Studios. It's called From the Heart. Keeping it real is what all the song's about. Never selling your soul. Always staying true to yourself. Alright, yeah. Check it out. Money, cars, but we'll never get you far unless you gonna spit it from the heart. Yeah, money, cars, but we'll never get you far unless you gonna spit it from the start. Man, money, cars, but we'll never get you far unless you gonna spit it from the heart. Yeah, money.
And welcome back to your favorite weekly sports show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is ITC Sportsball, and I am your man, Jerome Span. Of course, prettiest face on ITC. Don't you forget it, baby. And, of course, I'm here with the Sports Ball crew. We've got that hot take spitter, the man who rips like Dylon spits. He is the modern-day Ali on the microphone. When he steps into your home, all your ladies is gone. He is that man.
You know it's your boy Mace ready to go. Let's get it.
And of course, we have got ITC's control. He is that guy that sees a fire and he's like, I got that gasoline and gunpowder. What's happening? If you let him into your brain, he will drive you insane. He is that man, Daryl.
I'm back. No more original 2-man crew. It's 3-man crew. Yeah.
Yes. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, of course, to give you more of our hot takes on everything going on in the sports world. But of course, it is football season, so we have to get right into football because there's a lot to talk about. And we have to start with some of the things that have transpired over this last week. Might as well start right there in Dallas, Mace, because you know what? That was probably the most recent big news that happened there. Trayvon Diggs is now out for the season with the ACL, correct?
Yes.
With tearing his ACL, he's going to have the surgery. Mace, I know you've been feeling very, very confident with the Cowboys up to this point. Does this dull your confidence at all?
You know, I don't think so because it our secondary has a lot of depth to it. They've done a great job of making sure they have a few hybrid players on there that can play inside, play outside. And ultimately, man, that defense goes as the defensive line goes. Like, if we're being honest here, it's a lot easier to cover guys when they don't have a lot of time to sit in the pocket, and that's one thing Dallas does do. So, sure, you can't replace Trayvon Diggs. You can't replace the instincts. You can't replace the ball skills or anything of that nature. But I feel like this isn't one of those injuries that derails the season in any way. Like it's no like detriment to Trayvon Diggs that he's not a plus player or anything. I just feel as if the team is equipped in the secondary to actually handle an injury. Now, if the injuries pile on, that's when the issues come. But Trayvon Diggs himself being hurt, I don't think that changes Dallas's trajectory at all. I feel like they still should feel like they need to be the best team in the NFC in the league or whatnot. Like, I don't think that they should lose any confidence as a team, as a defense. So it sucks. I'm glad he got paid before he got hurt because I don't want to deal with no circus of you're trying to pay an injured guy, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to deal with that. So I'm glad he got his money before this injury happened. So yeah, I'm confidence is still high.
I got to give you a little pushback though. You're feeling very confident in the secondary being able to still hold up, but this was a unit that last year, Mace, you were not very high on outside of Diggs. I mean, outside of Diggs, the rest of that unit you had real question marks about. So what is it that now is changing your confidence level with the rest of that secondary?
Deron Bland proved that he could play inside or outside. Jordan Lewis, he's probably one of the better slot cornerbacks in the league. He's coming back off of his foot injury, so I think that's another plus for us. And for what all the slack that our safety room gets, that's where like the majority of our versatility comes from. Jaron Kearse has had one of the better 2-year stretches of guarding tight ends in the league. Malik Hooker has kept himself healthy, and he's been able to make plays as a center fielder, basically. And like I said, I think that the depth that the depth that we have between safety and corner, I feel like is going to you can't fill the void, but keep the well from overflowing. Like, I think they will hold up. Like I said, you can't replace Trayvon Diggs, but I think they're going to hold up to not. This isn't going to be an Anthony Brown's over there, just throw it to his side type situation. Like I don't think that that's going to happen. Like I said, Deron Bland, he's proven that he can take the ball away. He can play tight coverage. He's proven that he can step in and be a outside corner if necessary.
Now, Daryl, I got to ask you, because I know you love to give this man pushback about this. You've heard everything that he said. How much do you actually believe him?
This man a lying bastard, and we're just going to skip it right now. Wait. All right. We can go on for last season when we were talking about this. This is BS. He's saying all this stuff is saying, oh, this doesn't matter. He wasn't a prime player. You know, Diggs ain't going to do this, that, and the third. Like, this hurts. You have an injury already. It's not looking good. Y'all ain't going to the Super Bowl. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to go with the same motion. We're going to go with the same thing. Let's hoot, hurrah. We're going to try to do this. No, it ain't going to work. Sorry. You're down one guy. Your season's over. We might as well just put, like everybody else on Facebook, like you do every year, we might as well just say it right now. Cowboys eliminated. That's it. It's done. Over. Done. I'm not delusional. You are. This comes from a Dallas player. Delusional. Me? I know what my faults are. I'm not even hoping for this. You know what? It'll surprise me if the Patriots even get to that point right now. I have no confidence in them. I'm telling you right now, Dallas ain't doing it. Patriots ain't doing it. At least I'm being honest with myself. But we ain't going to be saying that just because a player just leaves and you're saying we can still do it. No, we already have this recorded. We have this stamped right now. I do not want to hear anything else later on when it gets to week 12 and then you're saying, oh, we got this in the bag. No, I'm not going to hear that nonsense at all. I'm just saying. I'm being truthful right now. My rant has already been staked right here, done, over with. I'm out. Any objections?
Hey, look, I'm gonna just say, Mace, you are a little bit drunk today, apparently, because listen, man, I don't care how much confidence you got in those other guys. None of those other guys are Diggs. Gilmore is still a very good corner. So obviously we're not including him, right? But we're talking about the guys that are going to replace Diggs in this equation. None of them are him. None of them. You're asking a lot of some younger guys too to now start covering better guys out there on the field. There's going to be some issues with that for sure. Because with Diggs, you had two corners that you could throw out there, throw them on anybody. Without him, you're asking a lot of old man Gilmore. I mean, look, I understand y'all beat the hell out the Jets last week, but I didn't forget when he got cooked, when Gilmore got cooked by Wilson there. Wilson caught that basically slant route base and took it to the house.
I think that goes more to Gilmore's coverage style, though. You know, he's in phase just like Diggs, so those in routes, those deep in routes. I mean, you're one well placed pass away from a guy being wide open. So I mean, it's one of those deals where it stings not having Diggs. Like you said, you got a 1-2 punch in them two that's top 2 in the league if we really want to talk about it. But I think our pass rush isn't going to let up at all at any point in time this season. So I don't think it's going to be detrimental, or there aren't too many teams that can take advantage of having the inexperience of DaRon Bland as an outside cornerback or anybody else that lines up out there. We're the Philly matchup and potentially the Dolphins matchup are the only two times we're going to be playing a receiving core that could potentially take advantage of DaRon Bland if he's not on his game.
Well, I guess time will tell on that, right? But also have to get into this week, the nonsense coming out of Chicago, Mace. Now, I told y'all last week, I said, if the Bears go 0-2, the season's done. It's over. Pack it up. This is over. It's a wash. We 0-2. Season's over. It's a wash. And you know why I say that? Because in the middle of the week, Justin came out and said the thing that some suspected, but you just didn't have the proof. And that was that the coaches was really, really trying to get him to stay in the pocket this year. Stay in the pocket, stay in the pocket. Trying to make him into Peyton Manning, right? Stay in the pocket. Well, that's resulted in the team looking terrible on offense. Justin looking very indecisive. At this point, I'm kind of hoping the Chiefs blow us out, Mace, so we can just fire Getsy and maybe fire the coach too and just get them all out of here, because at this point we have this early in the season, Mace, we have reached dumpster fire levels of issues. It's not all on Getsy. Let me be clear on this. Fields is responsible for some of this stuff because for some reason, I mean, Mace, I hate to say it, but I feel like my boy just has a very big aversion to throwing the in routes, the deep ends. Don't know why. Whether it's the backside end or front side, right? Don't know why. The quarterback school did a great job of breaking this down and showing, hey, there are some of these play design is absolute poop for sure. But there's also a part of this where the quarterback's not throwing to the open guys. He's not letting it rip. He's not throwing with anticipation a lot of times. Something's got to change. They either look a lot better this week, Mace, or everybody got to go.
Do you think it's
Everybody.
do you think it's a situation where he's never been asked in any offense to maybe find that third read? Because if you look at Ohio State, outside of maybe 2 to 3 games a year that he would play, he's facing lesser talent on the regular. Let's just be real here. He was good versus a good guy. He was good, but facing lesser talent for the majority of the time. And then he gets to the league, and the offense is tailored around maybe moving the pocket, 1 or 2 reads, take off, read options. And now the offensive coordinator is like, we got all these weapons. Let me just, hey, bro, sit there. Somebody will come open. Is it a situation where the offensive coordinator needs to maybe cut half the field off and be like, you got 2 reads or take off? Maybe build his confidence back up in some instances, because it looks like he's hoping that the skill position guys are a lot better than the defenders that are guarding him, and trying to just get them in open field, which sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, because if a team has the beat on your offense, trust me, I've seen it for years between Jason Garrett and Kellen Moore. When a team has a beat on your offense, all that quick game that you think that should be open, never going to be open. So he's not being done any favors. I'm not saying Justin Fields should not have progressed as a quarterback to find that third read. I'm not going to say he hasn't done, or he needs to do that, because he does, obviously, but maybe the offensive coordinator is outsmarting himself because now he's got all these new shiny toys on the outside to play with.
The answer is yes. It's a combination of both. Offensive coordinator hasn't really proven his merits as an offensive coordinator. I mean, let's be honest, Mace. Me or you could have coordinated an offense for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Because guess what? We knew we was going to call the play, but Aaron was about to go out there and check stuff and change it up anyway. So I don't know what we're talking about. They say that's a big part of the reason why him and LaFleur were having the issues they would have, right? Was that Aaron Rodgers is like, give me the play. Let me go to work. LaFleur is like, nah, baby, we got these motions, got this other stuff. We're going to get you somebody open. Aaron Rodgers is like, I don't need all that. I'll get somebody open. I can see what the defense is. We're good. So I think it is a combination of both, for sure. I think it's Fields is being asked to make more reads than he typically has had to over his football playing career. And the offense is doing some just mind-bogglingly dumb things at times. I mean, Mace, I've seen 2 weeks in a row plays designed where guys are literally running the exact same route on top of each other. This last week, I believe it was curl routes. The week before that, you had Mooney and Claypool on one side. You had them both running post.
That was probably that's the issue you have when you start throwing option routes into offenses, because a receiver might see something different than what the quarterback sees. And if 2 receivers see the same thing on the same side, if they're given the option, they might run into the same space.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't hold just Getsy responsible. I hold Fields responsible too. I mean, there was a few throws last week that he just didn't make. He just held on to the ball. I mean, there was one they had Roshan and I think it was Komet. Both were open in the damn seam. Justin just didn't throw the ball. I mean, if you throw it to Roshan or Komet, it's a touchdown. They're walking into the end zone. There was nobody there to contest them. Then he had another one. It was a deep side end. And I'm sure everybody's seen the clip by now. It was the one where DJ Moore was clapping his hands at this man like, yo, throw me the fucking ball, bro. It's open. This is as open as it's going to be in the league, you know. But what's maddening, and this is where I'm hoping maybe this has been paralysis by analysis for Justin, right? Because I've even told you, Mace, right? He looks like he's playing slower in a lot of ways, which isn't good. So maybe it's paralysis by analysis and he'll start letting it rip because, hey, that throw to Claypool. You saw that highlight, right?
Oh, yeah.
He ripped it in there. He ripped it in the seam, right where it needed to be. But on other ones, like I said, on the other one, when you have two guys running up the seam wide open that you're looking at, it's not like his read, they were on his right side, right? It's not like his initial read was starting him left and he had to go left and then come back. He started right and stayed right and just missed two guys there and didn't throw the damn ball. So that's why I say it's a combination. Mace, I hate to say it like this, but it's starting to remind me a lot of the combination of Nagy and Mitch, which is the coordinator and the quarterback do not match each other. Philosophically, that coordinator will never be able to understand how to use that quarterback because that's not how he gets down, and he's not necessarily a guy that can adjust. This goes back to Mace, what I said when the Bears were looking for a coach, and we knew we had already spent the first-round draft pick on Fields. I told you over and over, I wanted Eric Bieniemy. That's who I wanted. And now he got out here making Sam Mother in Howell look like he could actually be a real NFL quarterback, Mace. And while all that's happening, Chiefs offense looking like boo-boo through 2 games. I don't know. In an age when everybody's hiring offensive minds to work with their young quarterbacks, to pivot and go the other way and say we're going to hire a guy running a defense that doesn't typically work in the NFL that well anymore, I don't understand it.
I think it comes down to, like you said, the coordinator's philosophy on offense is different than how the quarterback sees the offense. So it really because last year you thought to yourself, the Bears are going to carry over a run game, and now you're going to have receivers getting one-on-one matchups, and DJ Moore is going to win one-on-one matchups. Mooney's going to win one-on-one matchups. We hope Claypool gets his head out his butthole and wins one-on-one matchups.
He ain't winning no one-on-ones. Actually, don't let me say that. There was one that he won last week on a double move, and that was another one where Justin just did not throw it. Just didn't throw it.
So it's almost as if what the offense that y'all ran last year was like emergency break glass. All my regular stuff ain't gonna work, so let me just pull this out real quick and get me through the year because they're gonna do something to let me run all of this over here. But your team is equipped to run the emergency break glass offense. Why would you run away from that?
Because you're outsmarting yourself. And to give everybody an example, this is the play I was talking about where he missed 2 people in the seam. I know y'all see this man right here.
Like I said, that's NFL open, and that's booty naked open.
Make sure you can see it. They're in 3.
Yep.
Deep third, curl. Right
like
there.
You said,
seam,
the back shoulder
wide
for
open.
the inside guy, that's NFL open, and that's booty naked open.
Open. Wide like this. Wide booty
It
naked
almost
open. You have to hit the throw.
You know what it is? It almost looks
Look
like
where his eyes are at, Mace. This is what I said. You see his eyes? They're over there. You see my point?
To me, it almost feels like he's given too much information after the play is called.
That's why I'm saying paralysis by analysis. Hopefully, him just trying to let it rip and be looser this week will work out. We'll see. I still think we're going to get our heads kicked in by the Chiefs. I think we're the exact right team for the Chiefs at the right time. When they need a get-right game, playing a team with no defense worth a damn. Look, you got a secondary and 2 linebackers that are good, but that front, they get no pressure in the run game, in the pass game, and they don't stop anybody in the run game. This is what the Chiefs needed. Get right game. But don't want to get stuck with the Bears here. Moving on to some other things that have went down this week. Now, I just want to bring this up because we all saw the majesty of the Patriots offensive lineman going up and snagging that thing last week, and we got cheated out of a – well, we didn't get cheated because the refs made the right call. But another, half a yard base, and we've got the greatest offensive line play that has ever happened, right? We had that glory. So I just want to say, I know y'all boys seen that glory of my man skying up in the air and grabbing that thing out the air. I know you see,
man. That was one of the more athletic plays you'll ever see from a lineman. Because I mean, we know your athletic offensive linemen, they're gonna bulldoze some guys in the secondary from time to time. You're gonna be like, my boy's moving, and you need to get out the way. But my boy just gracefully snagged that thing out the air, and I'm just salty for him that it didn't result in a first down like that. I was like, bro, at least give him the first, bro. Like, I feel for you, big dog. You deserve to get a first down right there.
He almost had it, but it was
a game of inches, man.
Like I said, man, the referee, he made the right call. I'm not gonna sit here and be like the ref should have just gave it to him because he made the play. No, the ref made the right call. But God, do I wish that he had gotten that first down? Yes, because that was amazing. This man went up and skied. And this is my yearly reminder to y'all that these NFL linemen are way better athletes than you. Way better. Some of them may look like sloppy fat guys, but they are actually supreme athletes. Because my man went up there and skied for it, Mace. He looked like Mace. He high pointed the ball and went and got it.
That's just some teach tape right there, bro. This is how you sky. This is how you high point the ball. This is teach tape.
When you can do that, you're a legend forever. So Strange on the Patriots, you a legend forever. You are a big man legend forever because you went up and skied that thing. You high pointed that thing out the air, snatched it in, almost got the first down. He didn't get it. Mason was like, oh. No, he went up and snatched that thing out the air and immediately was like, let me get this first down. So gotta love it. Daryl, he's on your squad. I know you gotta appreciate seeing a big man make a move like that. Something went wrong with Daryl's mic because I see his lips moving, but I don't hear him talking.
No, I'm here. I said he knew what to do. He went for the objective. He tried his best. That's all I'm going to say. He didn't fumble or nothing. He just went on there and just say, I got a job to do. There we go. That's it.
Say the team needs me. Got it.
He tried to put the team on his back, but they wasn't trying to go for the ride, bro.
No. And then the last, big thing that happened really this last week was, of course, the Nick Chubb injury. It was not a good thing to see. Very ugly injury. If you haven't seen it already, I would advise you to not go look at that because that was the gross feeling I got was the same feeling I got when Willis McGahee's knee went crazy. So I would probably not go watch that if I were you. If you know what the Willis McGahee injury is, then you should probably not go watch this tape. But Mace, I think this goes back to something that we've talked about on here for years, right? Which is running backs. We understand why they want to get paid. And that Chubb injury is a prime example of why they are looking to get paid, because it takes one play like that. And that's a common play, right? That's something that the end result was not good, but the way the play played out is something that's very common in NFL games, right? Short yardage situations, stuff like that happens. It's just not all the time that a guy's knee gets, caught up in the situation. Sometimes, more times than not, the guy just ended up getting taken to the ground.
And see, the thing that kills me about it is people want to call it a dirty hit, but unless you have played football, sometimes even big time high school football, you might run into situations like this where the offensive players are a lot bigger than you. You don't hit Nick Chubb in the chest. If you want to get paid to play football, you as a defensive back do not hit Nick Chubb. As a linebacker, you don't hit Nick Chubb in the chest. It's not going to work out for you. Belly button and kneecap. You can't get mad at somebody hitting Nick Chubb near his knees, because that's the only way you're going to get him down. And even then, he might make you look stupid in the process.
Yeah.
So let's just take away that whole dirty hit nonsense right now, because, like you said, you can't. We've taken away all the dirty hits. We've taken away all the earshots and stuff like that, which is necessary. But we all knew that the uptick in knee injuries was going to go up once you tell guys that their launch area had to be lowered. The lower the launch area, the more the knee injuries you're going to have. Like, you have to go low. Like I said, belly button and kneecap, or you're going to be on Nick Chubb's highlight. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're expecting guys to just risk getting fined and suspended, there's only so much room that you got to hit somebody. And like May said, even if there wasn't such a punitive punishment for hitting a guy too high, right? You don't want to go high on that guy. Not him. Yeah. Maybe some other running backs in the league, but him, you go high on him, he might send your butt to the shadow realm. So yeah, can't be mad at Fitzpatrick for that hit at all. That's just, all that stuff is just nonsense. Those are people who clearly don't want to accept that there's an injury risk that goes with playing football, an inherent injury risk. And I understand it sucks for all of us to see a guy get hurt. You know, sometimes, you know, that guy's on your favorite team. Sometimes he's on your fantasy team. You know, hell, sometimes you're just a fan of the game of football and you hate to see guys getting injured because you want to see the best out there, right? But if you're honest with yourself, part of the bargain that we all make as fans is that we going to end up seeing some bad injuries from time to time. Not to bring it back up, we saw what happened with Damar Hamlin last year. That was a scary situation, but never forget, during that same season, we saw a bunch of guys get crunched, laid out, have to go out with concussions, all types of stuff, and we were still watching. After
we saw Tua throw up
we
gang
were still
signs
watching
in like week 6, and we were still tuning in. So I mean,
all of us have made a bargain with the devil on this one here. Okay, so that's just the way that is. So hopefully Nick Chubb can have a quick recovery and get back and hopefully
one caveat, this is the same knee that he tore up at Georgia. So tough.
That's what I said. Hopefully. There's no guarantee. Well, let's just be honest. Tear your ACL, there's no guarantee you're going to be back to being normal regardless. Yeah. It just the way it works. Some guy, as great as the technology is now, right? Because when we were kids, you tear your ACL. That
was kind of it. That was like nobody started bouncing back from ACLs until Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, and now you see 1 year, you're out and you're good to go after that year. So who knows what we'll see here, but we got to get into the games for this week, and we might as well talk about the Thursday night game that happened between San Francisco 49ers, who is one of the best teams in football, and the New York Football Giants, who are currently one of the worst teams in football. Look, don't let that one little BS comeback win that they got fool you. Don't believe the hype. Okay, I'm here to tell y'all, and it's what me and Mace tried to tell y'all in Giants fans in the offseason, which is that y'all paid for a motherfucking lemon in Daniel Jones. You paid for a lemon. Mace, we had Giants fans all off season telling us, oh man, Daniel Jones proved he's it with Dayball, da-da-da. And now look at him. Mace. When they didn't play two good teams, what happened? They got their fucking heads bopped when they played one really bad team that is trying their best to lose this year. They were this close to losing that game.
So my main issue with the Giants right now is they have no proven receivers, and they refuse to throw the rookie Jalen Hyde in there for any significant amount of playing time. Like who in that receiving core is the guy that you're gonna look at as a baller? Why not just throw the rookie out there? Why not? What can it hurt? I mean, you need another big play entity without Saquon, so why not slap him out there all the time? It makes no sense not to. You pretty much got what you paid for in Darren Waller. We know he's always on the injury report. That defense is holding on for dear life because they have no shot at holding anybody with the amount of time they're on the field. I mean, Evan Neal is looking terrible as a right tackle. It's like every game he regresses a little bit more. I don't know what's going on there, but it's not looking good. And without Saquon,
I just want to say, if you paying somebody $40 million to play quarterback, I think they should be able to rally the troops a little bit when you got some guys out. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I done seen Kirk Cousins rally the troops in Washington before, but I can't tell you every time I seen Daniel Jones do it against a good team. And y'all know how we feel about Kirk over here.
he's a very nice gentleman.
Shut up. We're not doing this. Shut up. You are not going to be able to just flip all of a sudden and try and be nice to Kirk Cousins after years of how trash and average he is. Stop.
I am a Kirk Cousins apologist.
Daryl, do you hear this? Do you hear this madness?
I am a Kirk Cousins apologist. He is a very nice gentleman.
See, the delusion train is speaking throughout this whole episode. We got started off with delusion. We're going to keep it going. Keep it going. Rally the troops of delusion. Let's do it. I think you took a sip. That's what I think.
Again, but the real for that game,
tapping in that collection he showed us.
Back to the game, though, you know, how long are we going to hold on to the? Is it Brock Purdy or is it the offense? Because the offense makes him look good, but is it really him? Because Jimmy G looked good in that offense until you asked him to throw the ball more than 22 times.
Look, bro, I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm not a Purdy hater. I actually think his story is pretty cool. But let's just be honest, man. We know it's Kyle Shanahan. We've seen him do this with motherfucking Brandon Whedon, bro. We've seen this. He can make guys look good.
He had Matt Ryan looking like a Hall of Famer for a few years.
If Matt Ryan would have had him for 2 more years, he would have a surefire Hall of Fame candidacy for his career because he would have balled out for 2 more seasons at an absurdly high level. But we know what this is. And I'm not a Purdy hater because he does a lot of things right for that system too, right? He makes throws on times. He makes accurate throws. But it helps a lot when at every other position on the offense, you basically are out-talenting whoever you're facing that week after week. Makes your job pretty easy as a quarterback when everybody else is that damn great. When you got Hall of Fame left tackle, right? You got the rest of the guys on the offensive line. They're variants from decent to pretty good, right? Wide receivers are better than pretty much all the corner pairings that you're going to end up facing during the season. Your tight end is going to be a matchup nightmare for basically everybody's linebackers in the league. Because that's right, the one linebacker that could probably guard your guys like that
is on your team.
He plays for your team. Yeah, so I think it's just very easy what he's doing. My questions are going to come for him in the playoffs. When they have to face some adversity, it's the same thing that we dealt with Jimmy G, right? Which is at some point, you have to give us a moment that's better than the system, where you transcend and say, hey, the system didn't get the guy open. I either threw him open or I kept the play alive and then got the guy open by keeping the play alive. At some point, we're going to see that, and I don't know if he's got that in him. I know people will point to some of his 7-game stuff last year, and I told y'all right now that's fool's gold. I never believe in that BS no matter what. What he does this season is what he is, and even if you look at the numbers this year too, again, it's not like Brock Purdy is out here throwing for 400 yards every week. I mean, this last game, Mace, he threw for what? Like, was it like 127 or something like that?
Something. It wasn't much. But I will say that I hopefully the McCaffrey injury spells are behind him, because he has been nothing short of spectacular since he's went over. Maybe it was one of those situations where it's like, I'm on a bad team, I can be injured for a little bit longer, don't really matter. And now he's potentially the NFC representative for the Super Bowl. So now he's like, let me slide. Let me get back in the lineup ASAP.
Let me also be fair to Brock Purdy. I'm sorry. He threw for more than 126. He was like at 126 at one point in the fourth quarter, and that was in the game against the Rams. He finished that game with 206. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure I was clear, because he did do what he was supposed to do against the Giants, right? He threw for over 300 against them. The Giants are just a very bad team, though, and that's something that I don't think is going to change at any point in this year. So, Mace, we've got and Daryl, we've also got more games this week. And Mace, we were talking about people being delusional, and I think this is the perfect setup for this game right here. Falcons and Lions. I'm hearing a lot of delusional talk out of Falcons fans about Desmond Ridder. A lot of delusional talk. And Mace, look, I'm not saying that the guy is a bad player. I'm not. It's too early to tell whether he's great or not. But I know one thing. He hasn't been impressive. He's been aight. He's been aight for like half of football.
He looked a lot better last week than in game one. It's
almost Mace. He had like 87 yards going into the fourth quarter in game one. You can't look. Yeah. If he looked any worse than that, they got to get a new dude in there this season right now. Mace, they'd have to be calling Josh McCown, Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Phillip, are you good to go, man? I mean,
hey, Matt, you trying to come back for one more year? You know what I'm saying? They'd be have to make some calls like that, because Jesus Christ, they have too much skill position talent on that team for anybody to be looking as sorry as he did for about a game and a half now. Because look, in the second half of this last game, Mace, he looked better. Second half, he looked much better. Okay, I would give him that. I'm not gonna poop at him for that. But that first half, he was looking real sorry again. So, Mace, Falcons and Lions, we know where the Lions season is going, right? We know what it is, right? They're gonna probably be the team that ends up winning the North. So I think we don't need to go too much into them right now, because we're gonna spend plenty of time talking about the Lions. So Falcons, Lions, Mace, who you got? Are you a Desmond Ridder believer? You a truther?
I'm not going to say I'm a believer or a truther, but I do think the Falcons win this game. I think the maybe a little some inexperience will maybe rear up for the Lions early on. They need to get one of those reality checks, and maybe this would be one of those deals where they lose early and figure out where their weaknesses are and make some headway, because in that last game they did lose Gardner Johnson, and he's like I said, he was the tone setter for that defense for sure. Aiden Hutchinson, his production doesn't really seem to like reverberate with the rest of the defense. It's like he's walking to his own beat out there and nobody can catch up. But Gardner Johnson was the guy for that defense, where his mood, his tone, the plays that he made really kind of brought the rest of the defense with him. And without him, I think the Falcons will find a way to pull this one out. I think Ritter will maybe start looking a little bit better early on in that game and probably find some consistency. Maybe the offensive coordinator has found out what he likes and what him and his receivers are comfortable doing. And then also Bijan is he is that guy. Giving him the ball in any form or fashion is always a positive.
Bijan Robinson is the motherfucking truth, bruh. Like, oh my God. You just got to get the ball in his hands. That's it. He's one of these guys, basically, that's like, just get him the ball. That's it. Just make sure he's not getting tackled right when he's getting the ball, and he gonna make something happen for you. And it's crazy. I'm happy to see it. You know, I'm happy to see that he's balling out that way. I was excited to see what Bijan was going to do this year coming into the league. So hopefully he can keep it up, stay healthy, so we can continue to enjoy it. Because man, if it's anything like it was this last week, Mace, we in for a hell of a ride. So Daryl, who you got this week? Falcons or Lions?
I got Falcons.
Uh-oh. Daryl's a Ritter truther. He's like, y'all gonna learn Desmond Ritter's the truth by the end of the year. Watch. You know, just wait. This is the moment it starts. For me, this is a pretty, I don't want to say easy pick, but this is a you gotta win this game pick in order for your season to continue to go right. I'm going Lions here. There is no way as the Lions that you can drop this game to the Falcons. Not after the Packers just open the door for you to be able to be the real leader in that division by their performance against this same Falcons team last week. You got to get this dub. For me, it's Lions all day. We'll see what happens. Look, the man Campbell's is making me nervous, Mace. They're making me nervous. Last year, it was like, yeah, not really making me nervous, right? Even when they started like playing good, right?
Yeah.
But they're making me a little nervous right now. All right, so moving on to the next game, we have got Chargers at Vikings. Mace, somebody's season is completely done this week. One of these two teams is 0-3 after this week, and we know statistically 0-3. Look, I told y'all how dead it was at 0-2. Let me tell you something. It's even more dead at 0-3. Boy, your ass might as well pack it in for the season. We get ready to start saying in 14 weeks after that, 1, 2, 3, Cancun, because your season's done already. So, Mace, who you got? Chargers or Vikings?
I feel so bad for Chargers fans right now because Kellen Moore is Kellen Moore in 2 games into the season. How in overtime you did nothing to help your offensive out? You deep ball, 3 plays in a row in overtime and got no rhythm and let a team beat you in overtime that had no business being anywhere near you. I say all that to, you know what? I'm going Vikings. I don't see anything.
He's riding for his guy Kirk Cousins there. He's riding for him.
I don't see any reason in the Vikings defense that they are going to pose any ounce of resistance to what the Vikings can do. And if there's one thing the Vikings can do is they can put up points. They've proven it for a few seasons now that they know how to get Jefferson the ball. Addison is looking really good as a second option. At some point, those curl routes are going to kill them again on offense. So yeah, man, I'm going Vikings. It's not looking good over there in for the Chargers. I said this. I'm pretty sure I said this last week that if they go 0-2, and they for sure if they go 0-3, they got to get Staley up out there. He is proving every week that he is not a good coach.
Hey, Daryl, why he gave us all that lip service right there, I'm going to just tell the fans the truth. He picking them niggas to go 0-3 because he hates Kellen Moore's guts, and he wants his entire name to finally just be done. He's tired. He got tired of hearing about the Kellen Moore hype train all them years. So he like, I'm not picking him to win here. 0-3.
Bro, I've said the same thing about Kellen Moore. He's a great puncher, but he got no counter punches. His offense is his offense. He's gonna go out there, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he's got a script to where it's like, doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter how much time, it doesn't matter what we've done at any other point in time in this game. A 2nd and 6 on this side of the hash, we running this play. I don't matter if it's the second quarter, overtime, fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. It don't matter. 2nd and 6, this is my play. And that's Kellen Moore. That's it. He has no situational awareness when it comes to calling plays. His offense is his offense. Is going to look good until it needs to look good.
So, Daryl, like I said, he wasn't picking them because of Kellen Moore, like I said. So, Daryl, who you got this week?
Vikings. I'm picking.
I'm only going Vikings because I think the Chargers this season is going to be one of the most Charger seasons ever because we're going to watch Justin Herbert probably throw for almost 5,000 yards, probably have close to 40 touchdowns, and they are going to be like 3-4 games under 500. It's going to be insanity. And like May said, the coach, everybody go beat the hell up out of there after this because they still is spending a lot of money, too, to not have great results. So I don't see it getting better for the Chargers before it gets a little bit worse here. But moving forward here, Saints and Packers. Packers, I think they have an argument for being a competitive team this year. Saints, through 2 games, I think you would have to say that team is super, super uneven, right? Because week 1, they were like kind of pitiful, if we're being honest, against the Titans. Yeah, they got the win, but they were pretty pitiful. And then week 2, it was they led the game majority of the game, but also you're like, wait a minute, how are you only able to put up 20 points on this Carolina Panthers defense? So, Mace, who do you got here this week here with the Saints and Packers? Who you got?
I got the Packers here. I do think Jordan Love may struggle versus this defense because they have a lot of veterans on that defense, and I think they'll probably take advantage of a few things that Jordan Love just hasn't seen. But ultimately, I think the Jekyll and Hyde of the Saints is going to curse them, and they're going to look good maybe for a portion of that game, but they'll still be the Saints. They'll lose. They'll find a way to lose this game more than the Packers will find a way to win.
Daryl, who you got?
What did Mace pick? Going the complete opposite.
I don't know. Who did he pick, Daryl? You were just listening to him too. Who did he pick? Huh?
Nah. I'm not picking anything that's Mace, so it's going to be complete opposite. That's all my picks today.
I don't know who he picked. So guess we'll just have to move forward.
Move on.
I'm just gonna move on, right?
I don't know who he picked, but I don't
know.
No yes for this one today. No.
For me, I'm going Packers here. I think that their defense is just better than the Saints. The Saints have like some good veterans for sure, but I don't trust. If you want to be honest, Mace, this is the game where Lattimore is about to go to sleep and probably get cooked for like 200 yards. I see it coming all day. See it coming.
This definitely could be one of those games. He doesn't respect anybody he doesn't respect anybody in the Packers receiving room.
Daryl, one week I'll have to show it to you, but like if I show you Marshawn Lattimore's numbers versus guys that are considered like top 25 wide receivers in the league, and then his numbers versus everybody else, you would be like, nigga, do you just take the day off? Do you just go out there and just jog around? Like, it's alarming. If anything keeps him from getting in the Hall of Fame, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that because it's gonna be like, nigga, you may have played great against the greats, but Jesus, nigga, let John Ross come in there. He about to hit you for 160 over the head. Like, it doesn't make no sense. No sense at all. But moving forward here, got the Texans at the Jaguars. I mean, I'll say this one quick thing about the Texans. Stroud looked better last week. He looked like he progressed a little bit, looked more comfortable. Still got some moves that he needs to make, but I think a lot of that will start to come with more talent around him on that roster because me and Mason, we can beat this dead horse into the ground if you want us to, but they have no skill positions guys there. They're all a bunch of who that is still in the leagues, and he got drafted from where? So do I even really need to ask? I'm pretty sure everybody here is picking the Jaguars, unless Daryl might be the one that might want to. Nah, Daryl's not even that crazy right now. He shook his head no right away. He didn't even think about it. He was like, nah, nigga, this ain't the one. So, yeah, Jaguar sweep here. Moving forward here, though, pretty interesting matchup. We have got the Broncos at Dolphins. Mace, we have seen what's up with this Broncos team now, right? They are, you could say, most definitely a competitive team. They probably should have won that game last week against the Commanders, but again, that Commanders team is also playing really, really good football at this time. All that being said, I know the Broncos are 0-2, but they could easily be 2-0 with the way that their games have went. Who do you got this week?
You know what, man? I actually have a Broncos upset here because I think this is probably the best defensive team that the Dolphins will face like early part of the season. So they will be able to resist a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dolphins defense has not looked good, and they haven't been able to stop the run. Russ ain't cooking, but he at least making a sandwich now. So I think this would be an upset. This might be an upset alert. This might be a Miami. Y'all need to. This might be one of those wake up calls. Those ones knocking them down from cloud nine and realize that every team is going to give them everything they got now because offensively they look incredible, unstoppable. But defensively, they have let some team. They almost let Kellen Moore beat them. So yeah, I got the upset. Broncos are gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
so they could easily be 2-0. This could easily be one of the early marquee matchups of the season.
Yeah, so for me, this is a little bit easier of one, but I'm gonna make my pick, but I want to say I can easily see it going the other way based off of what we just talked about, right? With this Broncos team have been competitive. I'm taking the Dolphins. I think until we see any signs of Tua with a little bit of injury, this team's going to keep rolling. So I'm going with the Dolphins here. Daryl, who you got?
Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't think anybody was losing their mind too much this week because I know it's like what you said, this is still going to be a game that's close. So we'll see what happens here. Moving forward, though, we have got Titans at Browns. Mace, two teams where I don't think either of them have put in an impressive performance besides what happened week one with the Browns and Bengals, but I think seeing what the Bengals have been now through 2 games, I don't know how impressive that performance in its totality is going to end up being by the end of the year. But regardless, they win in that game. They were underdogs. They won. And then last week they came out again, and they should have won that game, but they didn't. Had a few plays go the wrong way for them. They ended up losing to the Steelers. All that being said, Mace, who do you got?
This one's actually a lot tougher because are the Browns just going to Browns us again? It's always that's an easy, man. You know what? I'm actually going to pick the Browns here. I think they rally. This may be one of those games where the troops rally and, it's just a total team effort type game. Just to not let Nick Chubb down from his injury. So yeah, I got the Browns here. I think that their defense will it's not like their defense was bad versus the Steelers. If anything, they lost in spite of that defense. They found a way to lose in spite of the defense playing lights out. So I got the Browns here. Titans, hurry up and figure out your quarterback situation, man. Just get some clarity in the quarterback room.
I just want to say, Mason, remind you, last week when we were picking the Titans and Chargers, I told you it was time to tighten up, baby.
Listen, bro, I told you this is one of those games where if the Chargers don't win this, somebody's job is on the line, and it better be on the line if they don't win this week.
Yeah, for me, I think the Browns will win this game easily. I think this is probably one of the last starts we'll end up seeing for Tannehill because it's going to be an ugly one. It's not going to look good against this team. Not at all. Daryl, who you got here?
Browns.
Yeah, see, nobody's losing their mind here. Moving forward here, though, we've got 2 of the teams in football that have been both interesting stories. One, because they kind of disappointed week 1, and now they rallied themselves in week 2. And then we have got that being the Buffalo Bills. And then we have got the other team, the Washington Commanders, who have came out the gates firing on all cylinders. Mace, I know neither of us were necessarily sold on Sam Howell, but damn, is he looking good under Eric Bieniemy there. All that being said, who you got this week? And to be clear, audience, I still think the Bills are frauds because they are frauds.
You know what, man? I have Washington here. I think getting Josh Allen off of his timing, making him be the playmaker, he's going to give that defense opportunities. And if the defense can keep them in the game, I finally think that this is that time where age is starting to catch up to that Bills secondary. Because don't get me wrong, they have some really good players, but at some point they start running a little closer to that cliff, or they might wobble from time to time. And Bieniemy has that offense clicking in Washington. So I think Washington wins this one in a close game, maybe a field goal difference.
So for me, look, man, I understand everything I said about the Buffalo Bills up to this point, and I still freaking mean it, dang it. And you know what? The Commanders about to win this game. That defensive line about to go crazy. Have Josh Allen running for his life. Commanders all day. Keep balling, Bieniemy and them boys. Daryl, who you got? Exactly where I set you up there, though, right? Think I was going to pick against them. The Bills are frauds. Not picking them. Daryl, who you got?
I'll go Commanders.
See, who would have thought Commanders would sweep a pick around here if they're not playing the Giants?
Facts. That's because, Mace, you slowly finally admitting what I've been saying is the truth, which is that them boys really got a lot of fraudulent behavior about how they be playing because they're frauds. Moving forward here, though, we got Colts at Ravens. Mace, who you got?
I got the Ravens. I think this one's pretty easy. Is Anthony? I'm not sure about Anthony Richardson's injury status for this game, but I just think they're just going to be overwhelmed. I think the Ravens are going to look. This will be one of those games where Lamar Jackson looks really, really, really good. Not just really good how he usually looks. He's going to look like MVP good versus this defense. So, yeah, I got Ravens. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Daryl, who you got here?
Ravens.
Yeah, I'm not even going to waste time. Ravens. Anthony Richardson might not even play this week. So, yeah, Ravens without a doubt. Moving forward here, though, big game in the NFC East. We have got Daryl's boys, the New England Patriots, going in to face the New York Jets. We all know what the Jets season is. I don't want to go on a long soliloquy about it, right? We know what it is. Mace, who you got, Patriots or Jets?
I got the Patriots, man. Zach Wilson's their quarterback. Simple.
Daryl, who you got?
Patriots.
Yeah, it's easy. Patriots. Until the Jets decide to bring in another quarterback, I find them to be a completely unserious organization because you keep trying to tell me that Zach Wilson is your guy, and we all know that you're lying. We don't believe you.
What did I keep telling you all last week during the game? I was like, Zach gonna start throwing it to us.
Yep.
3 straight possessions to end the game. He threw picks.
And that's who Zach Wilson is. Moving forward here, though, we've got the Panthers versus Seahawks. Mace, who you got?
I got the Seahawks. I think they right the ship this game. Pretty simple.
They better. Because how they was looking not last week, but week 1, unacceptable. They cannot go back to that. They've got to be the team that they were week 2. So, Daryl, who you got here?
Pass me.
Uh-oh, he actually had to think about it. Uh-oh.
Pass me. Give mine last. I'm thinking about this one.
Well, for me, this is a very easy one. This is Seahawks. The Panthers are unintentionally in the tank again, right? Because they don't want to actually tank this year too badly because they don't have their first-round draft picks. So, I mean, they're not intentionally tanking, but that roster is just bad, and they're not going to win a lot of games this year. I'll be honest with you, I'd be surprised to see the Panthers win more than 2 games this entire season. I think that roster is – look, if they're smart, Brian Burns and I think they got one other player on that team that
Derek Brown has been –
There we go. Brian Burns and Derek Brown, y'all better trade them by the deadline and get everything you can. Go fleece somebody for those players. Make your rebuild go a little bit faster. Because guess what? By the time that team is good enough, both of those guys are going to be too old to be the value player that you need to. And then you'll just be paying 2 old guys a whole lot of money for nothing. So, yeah, very, very simple for me. Seahawks here. Now, moving forward. Oh, wait, Daryl. Who you got, man? Panthers and Seahawks. You ain't get away with pass over, and then you almost made me forget. I almost forgot. You're slick.
I guess I got the Seahawks. I can't pick the Panthers. I can't.
Oh, he heard what I said, basically was like, ooh.
No, it's not even that. They were not in position in the last game. I was watching that nonsense.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. All right, moving forward here, we have got Bears at Chiefs. Base, who you got?
I got the Chiefs here. Pretty simple. The offense will right the ship, because as Jerome has so eloquently explained already, that defense is about as resistant as wet toilet paper right now. So yeah. Chiefs.
Daryl, who you got?
Chiefs.
Hey, I'm gonna make this real easy for y'all because I heard what I had to say about this Bears team earlier. we got 0-3 written all over us all day. Look, even if the offense comes out and turns it around and plays good, right? Our defense cannot. You could take all 11 of them dudes, and you're not stopping the nosebleed right now because the dudes up front is leaky as hell, have no talent, don't do nothing worth a damn. So, very easy. Chiefs probably by 2 touchdowns here. I'm going to say it straight up. Probably by 2 touchdowns. Moving forward here, though. God, and I got to wait till 3:30 to watch that happen? No, see, NFL, I'm going to need y'all to stop doing this. Stop putting the Bears in these 3:30 games. Noon. I need them at noon. So if they F up, which they going to do, I can forget about it by watching somebody else's game. But you give it to me at 3:30, man, it's like, oh, come on, bruh.
Hey, the crazy thing, the Chiefs, for the Chiefs schedule, last week was their only noon kickoff of the entire season. They're either 3:30 or primetime, or like 3:20 or primetime for the remainder of the season.
The NFL knows where they get their ratings from.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving forward here, though, we've got Cowboys at Cardinals. We know what the Cardinals are. We've discussed them already. We know what that is, right? Cowboys, we also discussed them. So, Mace, who you got?
I got the Cowboys. I do think this would be an interesting test for the defense because they're going against a quarterback who has nothing to lose and will take off and run at every chance he's got. So I'll be interested to see how we handle the spy situation for the quarterback, but I don't think there'll be much resistance in this Arizona team. I think Dallas is just gonna roll through them, no problem.
Darryl, who you got?
Same as Mace.
Oh, so you can't say Dallas, but you gonna pick Dallas. You know what, man? You ain't worth a damn. You know that?
Hey, I'm just like you. I'm not worth a damn.
So, look, the Cardinals have been utterly impressive through these 2 weeks. I mean, for a team that we pretty much expected to not even be competitive, they have been competitive in both of these games. Josh Dobbs is playing all right football. You know, I'd probably put it right around like what Jacoby Brissett was playing at early in the year last year, around that level. Looks pretty good. Marquise Brown out there selling, just like me and Mace told y'all he would. So, all that being said, this is a very easy pick for me. If I ever decided to go elsewhere, I must be on drugs. This is Cowboys all day. Okay. It's like this. I'm starting Dak Prescott this week, for ladies and gentlemen, in fantasy.
Yeah, you definitely should.
That lets you know what kind of week I think it's going to be. All right. He about to ball. But moving forward here, we've got the Sunday night game, which is Steelers at Raiders. Two teams that, the start to their season has been uneven for both teams. I think you could argue that this is the worst start we've seen a Mike Tomlin team get off to, but in fairness to that Steelers team, they played the 49ers and the Browns in those first 2 weeks, and those are probably going to end up bearing out two of the top 5 defenses in the league over the course of this whole year. So, Mace, who you got?
I think, like Mike Tomlin said, this offense needs to find their mojo, and I think they do it this week.
They got to not blink. Hey, that's what Coach Tomlin said. He said they got to not blink, bro. That's what he said.
Yeah, man. I think this offense figures some things out, man. I think they'll look a lot better. They'll look like they know what they're doing out there. Outside of Max Crosby, there really isn't much resistance on that Raiders defense. So yeah, I think they right the ship here. They start to look good, get back to doing some of the things that they are capable of. So yeah, I got Steelers.
Darryl, who you got?
Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not obvious already, I'm taking Steelers. I don't trust no damn Josh McDaniels coach team with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback. Get out of my face. And now we've got 2 Monday night games, and I swear to God, Mace, yes, bro, they're doing this again, man. They need to stop that. But starting at 6:15 Central, we've got Eagles and Bucks. Mace, who you got?
I got the Eagles, man. I think somebody please bring Baker's Mayfield back down to reality, because he has been riding a 2-week high, and I dislike it with everything in. I dislike it more than I dislike the Eagles. So I got Philadelphia.
This is gonna be a hard one for you, Daryl. What you got?
It ain't gonna be Eagles.
He said, "No, it ain't."
Don't even. You already know the answer from me. It's not gonna be Eagles. So stop.
Daryl ain't playing, bro.
I'm gonna go the Bucks here. I think the Eagles. It's gonna be one of those weird games where I think it'll be a lot like the game that the Eagles lost late in the year last year. I know it was another primetime game, but you remember
I think it was Washington.
Played like crap. Yeah, it was Washington.
Like
yeah, I think this is going to be another one of those. This will be their one for the season where a team that they should beat, they come out and just lay an egg against. So I'm going to go Bucks here, but I will just to
give the Bucks their credit though. Their defense has been really good, and it's just
a sneak preview. The Bucks are about to lose their next 3 games after this. I'm just telling you now. Just telling you now. It's going to be a quick come down to reality, okay? And y'all will see why next week when we get to that game on our next show there. So moving forward here, though, for the last game of the week, 2 teams that I think it could be argued that you thought the start of their seasons would probably be the inverse to what they've been. Got the Rams at Bengals. The Rams have gotten off to a pretty good start here. I mean, I don't want to overblow anything that's happened in 1 week or another, right? But through 2 games, the Rams look competitive. They may not have beat the Niners, right? But they still were competing against them. They still gave them a better fight than most teams are probably going to give them all year. And this is without Cooper Kupp being on the field still. So, Mace, all that being said, who you got? Because we know what's up with the Bengals. We done told all y'all for like 2 seasons now. They another team that need to be looking at their head coach just like the motherfucking Chargers.
It looks like Joe Burrow is going to be out for that game. So it's easy for me. That offense without Joe Burrow really is just it doesn't work. Plain and simple. It just doesn't work without Joe Burrow as a quarterback. So I've got the Rams.
Daryl, who you got?
Rams.
Yeah, this is easy for me too. Rams all day. Look, Zach Taylor and Staley. I remember the year they got hired. They both was being hyped real hard. And we're going to probably see them both get fired the same exact year. So, yeah, this is the Bengals are a dumpster fire. They are look, I know I've been very, very hard on my Bears team. For a team that, was picking at the top of the draft, I think I've been very, very hard on them. I am thankful I'm not a Giants fan or a Bengals fan. I'm thankful. Because I know some Giants fans will be like, well, we won last week. Bruh, you had to come back on the Cardinals who are clearly out here tanking. That's not good. That's not good. You looked awful. And then you turned around and came out on Thursday night and then got your teeth kicked in again. So I ain't hearing it. But yeah, man. Hey, Joe Burrow, y'all might be shutting him down early for the rest of the year because Zach Taylor, if I was the owner of the Bengals, I'm not leaving my quarterback in that motherfucker's hands. Not a chance.
No, you can't. Because it's another one of those situations where they've just simply relied on the talent of their skill position and their quarterback instead of actually presenting a game plan and scheme that's worth something.
Yep.
It's a go ball. It's a nothing or a go ball to Jamar Chase or a 50-50 to T. Higgins. That's been their offense for this entire time. It looks great when it works.
I thought they were gonna get Joe Mixon more involved in the offense this year.
Right? Like Joe Mixon took that he took a pay cut to stay with the team, and they are laughing at his face for taking less to take less money to ride the bench or to be an extra blocker. He's the 6th offensive lineman out there. That's about as much as he's done. He's like, hey, I want to be a part of something special. You want to be the 6th offensive lineman on the field? That's what you wanted? Because that's what you got. Yeah,
that's simple. It's that simple. But Mace, tell the people where to find you.
You know, man, Twitter, funky_stuff09, twitch.tv/swaggy mace. Hit me up. I'm cool and funny.
And not to mention handsome.
You see, I don't want to say all that though, because my girl might come in here. And, who you say you handsome to? You
saying it to 2 other handsome individuals. That's cool. But Mr. Low, tell the people where to find you.
YouTube and Twitch. Low Elo Janitor. Streaming sometimes, you know.
Low Elo Janitor. But you can find me at JSpanderMan everywhere you either see my pretty face or the ITC logo. Don't you forget that. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate us, review us. If you only give us 4 stars and don't give us 5 stars, I'm going to think you're a hater for the rest of your life. And you don't want me to think of that because I'm a really, really nice guy. All that being said, this has been another resounding episode of your favorite weekly sports show. Ladies and gentlemen, that is ITC
Sportsball.
Jesus, we were off. Hey, we are rusty.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.